By now, we should know in FC24 there are some pretty horrific teams that you can use. Central Coast, for example, from Australia are really low rated, and there's of course UCD Dublin. But no team in FC24 are worse than Hyderabad FC from India, who in real life finished rock bottom of the Indian Super League with a whopping 8 points to their name. But ladies and gents, today is their lucky day because now I'm stepping in. I have made it my mission to make Hyderabad FC go from being the worst team in world football today to become the world's best. And to make this even harder, I have taken them from the Indian Super League and put them into the 4th tier of English football. This is by a mile one of my biggest challenges yet, so strap in guys, this could take a while. And ladies and gents, I was not joking. This is the starting 11 I have loaded into, and I am not being funny when I say this. This has got to be the worst starting 11 I've seen so far in FC24. I mean, look at some of the players they've got, man. I've legitimately never seen so much red in a squad up before. And even some of their best players are only 58 overall, and the worst thing is some of their best players are actually on loan to us right now, so we can't even use them because we are going to treat this like the new season. However, having been through the squad up, there are maybe 1 or 2 players that we can possibly try and build this team around for the first 3 or 4 seasons at the very least. Like right winger Abdul Rabi, apologies in advance for mispronunciations, it's definitely going to happen, but he's only 22, he's 53 rated, he's not going to become world class by any stretch of the imagination, but we can hopefully turn him into a little bit of a decent player. It's the same story for our attacking midfield, whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, but he's the same age and overall as Rabi, so maybe we can turn him into a decent player too. There's also Suresh Singh, who's only 18 but he's 52 overall, definitely not a good rating, but maybe we can get him to 70 rated if we're lucky. But to make matters worse guys, we've only got 2 million in season 1 to spend. Honestly, I don't know how we're going to do this. I wasn't joking guys, this is the worst team in FC24 and somehow we've got to turn them into the world's best. But like always, the first thing we're going to do is mess around with the tactics, and I'm going to go for the gear compressing tactical vision because quite frankly this team isn't that old, so they've got the legs for it. As for the formation, I'm actually going to keep it as it is. I'll make adjustments as and when, but right now the 4-2-3-1 wide actually suits this team down to a T. And incredibly, after messing around with this team, this is our strongest starting 11, and that just does not fill me with confidence in the slightest. I mean, for God's sake, our striker's got 51 pace. What in God's name is he going to do up top for us on a level? Well, there's even worse news, guys. We've only got 1 million to spend because it turns out all those players that were on loan to us actually weren't on loan to us, they were on loan away from us, so we've had to bring them back purely because we're treating this like it's the new season, so now we're 1 million down. Now as you guys know, I don't usually do this, but I'm going through the youth academy and we've been given a few players that we can use already, like Romanian goalkeeper Petru Buser, only 17, 53 rated. I mean, his potential's a little hit and miss, maybe 81, 82, but we can definitely stick him in goal. There's also Ivory Coast winger Coffee, 17, 56 rated, got a very decent potential. He's going straight into the team. There's also Romanian winger Sergio Coman, 15 years old. We can't promote him just yet, but we can definitely stick him on the development plan and hope he gets better. It's just a shame in this youth academy that there's no decent defenders or centre midfielders for that matter, because quite frankly, those are the positions we need more than most. But because the youth academy is coming clutch for us so far, I'm going to spend 680 grand on Dave Jeffrey, a 4-star, 2-star scout. And you know what? We're going to send him to India for 9 months to try and find us defensive-minded players because, as I've just said, we do need defenders and defensive midfielders. But this only leaves us 694 grand, guys, and let's be honest, at this point, we can't really throw that money down the drain. I mean, just look at how bad this team actually is, ladies and gents. As daft as this sounds, that 600k could go a long way. Now, I've already said I want better CDMs and defenders, but I've already got our scout on that for us for the rest of this year, so instead, I'm going to try and bring in a better striker than De Silva. I mean, this guy is just useless, isn't he? He's got 50 odd pace. What is he going to do up top for us? So with that in mind, I've just spent a whopping £160,000 on Mumbai City striker Ayush Chakara. Now look, I know he's not the best striker in the world, but he's only 20, he's 52 rated, and he's actually got a bit of pace about him, and that alone says to me he's going to be a better striker than the one we currently got. But moving on from that, guys, we've got just under £500,000 left to spend, and again, again, I don't really want to throw this money down the drain yet. Now granted, we do have Dave Jeffrey looking for defensive-minded players for 9 months in India, but right now there is one player in our team that's going to let us down in the long run. And that is our current CDM, João Victor. I mean, this guy's 34 years old, God's sake. He might be 68 overall, but I feel like we've got to prepare for the inevitable of when he starts dwindling in overall. I mean, granted, there is Seville Tavora, who's 53 overall, but he's only 27 years old, man. He's got at least 5 years left in his career before he starts dwindling in overall himself. So with this in mind, I've just spent 255,000 on Indian CDM Moirangthem. He's legitimately got the longest name I've ever seen, but he's 20, he's 56 overall. I know that that's not a great rating, but I've genuinely got a really good feeling about this guy. And that finally leaves us with 92k, and even at our point, I don't think that money is going to bring in a player of value. But that's not our transfer window done, guys, because all 4 of these players are up for a loan move, primarily because, quite frankly, there's other players in their positions that I want to get game time over them. But with that being said, guys, that's all I can do in Season 1. This is how we're lined up going into our first year in League 2, and quite frankly, I haven't got very high hopes, I'll be real. Me personally, I feel like it'll be a genuine miracle if we don't finish rock bottom of League 2, man. If we finish 22nd or 23rd, that would be genuinely incredible in my opinion. The only thing I really want to see from this team is improvement. I feel like at the very least that is a little bit realistic. I'd also love to see our scout Dave Jeffrey bring in 1 or 2 really decent players from the youth academy, because if that's the case, we're setting ourselves up for success in Season 3, 4 and 5. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not joking when I say this, we only found one player, Raj Kumar Pal, a 16-year-old CDM who's 51 overall now. Got a half-decent potential, but he's definitely not what we were after. As for our stats, I mean, to be fair, we've actually done a lot better than I thought we would. We've got a couple of strikers gaining on the action. Oh my god, I've just realised Jakara and Joseph Sonny are both the same age. What am I doing? We didn't even need a new striker. Well, I say a few, we've only got one, and that is Coffee, our left winger from Ivory Coast, 61 overall now, but to be fair, that's decent. But that team morale doesn't look good at all to me, man. I definitely feel like we finished rock bottom. If we haven't, I'll be very surprised. And there you go, we are rock bottom by 9 bloody points. To be fair, we won 7 games in total from 46. That's about 3 more than I thought we would. We've also crashed out of the FA Cup in round 2, which is 1 round further than I thought we'd get to. But no surprise, in the Carabao Cup, we make it to round 1 before Barrow knocked us out. And we actually made it out of the group in the BSM trophy. Peterborough battered us in round 2, but that is actually pretty impressive. But truth be told, guys, like I said at the beginning of Season 1, the only thing we should realistically be after is improvement, and whilst we still aren't seeing mega amounts of it, there's still been improvement. But one player we won't be seeing next year is João Victor. This stubborn little git would not renew his contract, and honestly, I am not giving João Victor, a 35-year-old, more than 3 grand a week. Not a chance. All in all, guys, we've got a lot of work to do, man. It's a good job we got 15 years in total in career mode, because I feel like we're going to need all of them to actually make these guys the best in the world. But before we get to Season 2, guys, if you are enjoying this video where I'm rebuilding the worst team in FC24, drop a bit of moral support, guys. Leave this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Now, guys, here we are in Season 2, and after renewing everybody's contracts and sorting the coaching system out, we've got 3 mil in total to spend, and we can do a lot with that money this year. Primarily, a lot of work for our defensive lineup and our midfield. I was hoping that last year we'd find 1 or 2 really good players, but as we saw, we only found 1, and he's not that good either. And let's be honest, if we are to get from 24th in League 2 to gain outside the relegation zone, we need better defenders, man, because look at the players we've got, man. They're absolutely shocking. So I got right to work on bolstering the strength of our defense by spending 600,000 on Anwar Ali. And to be honest, he looks like a damn good centre-back. Only 23, 61 overall. Granted, he's only 5'10", but this guy could turn into a bit of a beast. And on top of that signing, I just spent a further 320,000 on Chingal Sana Singh. At 27 years old, he's a little more experienced, but he's also 62 rated. I feel like already we've secured our spot outside the relegation zone. But we still got 2 mil left to spend, guys. We definitely can't leave the transfer window there. Especially when we need to bring in a better CDM, which is why I've just spent a whopping £1 million on Christian Mihai. He's a very suitable replacement for João Victor, only 19 and 63 rated already. I feel like this guy's going to turn into a bit of a monster for us in the long run. But truth be told, that transfer, rote or soft, we've got just under $250,000 left to spend, so that's our transfer window done when it comes to signing players. But as for selling and loaning players, we've got a whole bunch of players on the transfer list, so our transfer window is nowhere near done. But looking at the team now, guys, going into Season 2, I definitely feel like those 3 signings we've made are going to help get us from 24th place out of the relegation zone. I mean, I'm really hoping so. Anyway, I do not want to finish rock bottom of League 2 with Hyderabad 2 seasons in a row, man, because after all the work we've been putting into this team so far, it'd be kind of disheartening. But it has to be said, these stats overall look a little bit more promising than they did last year, so we're already off to a better start in my opinion. And judging by the players' improvement, oh my god, we've definitely had a better season. Look at Christian Mihai, for goodness sake, 68 overall at 20 years old. What a signing he's turned into. Then you've got Cheat Coffee, who's 67 rated now, Ali, who's 65 rated. This is looking very goddamn good. And look at the team morale, guys. Everybody's either content or happy. I am praying to God we've actually not finished rock bottom, man. I'd be so gutted if we didn't. Success in Season 2 has been accomplished. We are 18th. We are nowhere near rock bottom in League 2. We are finally out of the relegation zone. Don't get me wrong, we've still got a long way to go before we get out of League 2, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. And we've once again made it to round 2 of the FA Cup before getting knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday. But we got absolutely dismantled by Bradford City in round 1 of the Carabao Cup. But look at this, we're once again in round 2 of the BSM Trophy. Granted, Grimsby Town did knock us out here, but we're doing pretty decent in the BSM competition. It has to be said, guys, we're doing a great job so far with Hyderabad FC. We're taking baby steps each season to becoming better, and eventually we're going to get out of League 2 by doing this. But we have to keep on top of a few things. For example, who our best players are, who our most improved players are, weed out the weak from the strong, and then go from there. But I feel like with us jumping 8 places in the span of 1 season, we can do the exact same next year and hopefully get ourselves into that top 10. And you know what, guys? The board are still backing us. We've been given another $4 million to spend in Season 3. And call me crazy, guys, but I feel like if we spend that money correctly, we can get this team not only into a top 10 position, we may just get a playoff position. Now, the most obvious position we need to improve is our right back position, where Mohamed Rafi plays. He's 24, he's 57 overall, he's not that good, and quite frankly, if we are to try and get the playoffs, we don't need him in the team. And this may be a little controversial, but I'm going to replace our attacking midfielder Ram Hlunj Hunger as well, and let me just show you why. His potential has officially been reached. It'll take him 63 weeks to become a better attacking midfielder, and if we are serious about getting the playoffs, we don't need him in the team either. But this time, guys, I'm pulling absolutely no punches on who I spend this $4 million on. So far, the players we brought into this starting 11 team have done their job and then some. However, the objectives up to this point haven't been that great. But if we are to take Hyderabad from 18th in League 2 to the top 7 in League 2, we've got to be striving to bring in higher quality players now. And that starts by signing Ferenc Rossi, TC's attacking midfielder, Balint Katona. Only 22, 64 overall, and his contract's expiring, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And that is exactly what we got, as we only had to spend $900,000 on him. And following him is right back Liam Bennett from Cambridge United. Only 23, 71 overall. This dude is going to level our defense up and then some. But we very nearly bankrupted ourselves in signing Liam Bennett, as we've just spent a whopping $2.1 million on him. But looking at the starting 11 now, I feel like those signings are going to be worth the money and then some, man. I genuinely feel like this year we've got a shot at getting out of League 2. But having thought about it, if we don't make the playoffs, it's not the end of the world, is it, guys? What would be the end of the world, however, if we finish lower than we did last year, because that would mean whilst we're taking 1 step forwards, we're taking 2 steps backwards. Well, guys, we were at the end of Season 3, and the improvement is once again what we want it to be, man. It's consistently good every single year. But But the stats this time aren't that good. Coffee is our top goal scorer with 18 goals, 4 assists in 50 games, man. That just isn't what it needs to be, is it? But the good news is the morale is looking good. A couple of players are happy, but most are content. So hopefully we finish 9th or 8th, maybe even the playoffs. Okay, seriously, do not ask me how we've done this, but we are automatically promoted from League 2. We are officially in League 1 from next year onwards. I can't believe that. I'm not being funny. Our team, for the most part, is decent, but I do not feel like we're ready for League 1 yet. I mean, our striker, our left back, our keeper, our centre back, Singh for that matter, are definitely weak spots in the team. We've got a lot of work to do next year to actually survive League 1. But moving on to the FA Cup, we've once again made it to round 2 before getting knocked out by Wickham. And we once again get knocked out straight away in the Carabao Cup. But this time, guys, we have a shocking performance in the BSM Trophy, getting grouped in Group F. But quite honestly, I am amazed that we've been automatically promoted because, quite frankly, we're not ready for League 1 yet, man. Our team is going to get annihilated if we're not careful. I mean, I know I said our aspirations this year, if possible, were the playoffs, but I never said I wanted promotion, man. That would have just been a good benchmark to work off next year, but we're 1 year early. All I can say, guys, is our budget needs to be a lot better than just 4 million. 5 or 6 million at the very least. Otherwise, we are toast in Season 4. But ladies and gents, whether we have or we haven't, one thing is for definite. Hyderabad FC are officially in League 1. And thankfully, we have been given a little bit more money by the board. 5 million in total. It's not as much as I'd have wanted, but it's definitely better than just 4. And like I said, guys, we've got a lot of work to do. We need a better striker than Sonny. We need a better left back than this guy. We could maybe do with a better keeper, but something is telling me that I should keep with him. I mean, he's still only 20 years old, and as you can see, he's still growing at a pretty quick rate. I reckon we give him this year to see if he grows by 3 or 4, and if he does, we keep him, but if he doesn't, we get rid of him and get somebody better. But with us not getting a new goalie now, I reckon we get a better right winger instead of Rabi. I mean, this guy is 63 overall, 25 years old now. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this guy, so I reckon we go for someone way better. And again, guys, we can't afford to pull any punches now. We've got to make the most of this 5 million to make sure that Hyderabad FC stay in League 1. So I got started straight away by signing Newcastle Jets striker Max Caputo for 1.7 million. And this guy is levels above Sonny, ladies and gents. He's 66 rated at only 20 years old. Something tells me he's going to have a field day in League 1. I've also just spent £2 million on the dot on left back Aske Adelgaard. And this guy is such a good player, man. He's only 22 at 70 overall. I feel like he's going to make a massive difference for us in League 1. But that leaves us with only 950k. And for that amount of money, I don't think we can sign anybody better than our current right winger right now. But I went through the free agent list and I found Marvin de Lima, a French right winger, only 22, 71 overall. He needs to work on his shooting a little bit, but overall for League 1, I reckon he can do a job for us. And just like that, with the signing of de Lima, that's our transfer window done. And you know what, guys? I've got to eat my own words here. I thought for sure League 1 we'd have been absolutely fighting for survival, but I think we're going to thrive. Obviously, our goalkeeper's only 63 overall, and we've got our centre-back Singh, who's a weakness, but aside from those players, the team is actually kind of stacked. But don't get it twisted, I am not expecting anything miraculous. I'm not expecting a promotion or even the playoffs for that matter. I think we can get a mid-table finish if we're lucky. And on top of that, I would like to see a lot of improvement once again. I want this team to keep going from strength to strength, and in order to do that, they need to keep improving. And that is exactly what these guys have done. Look at the improvement in some of these players, man. They don't even belong in League 1 at this point. Half of these guys belong in the Championship. And it's another strong showing from Coffee. 18 and 9 and 55 for him. Caputo had a decent season too. 14 and 5 and 42 for him, growing to 71 rated too. And on top of that, we haven't got a keeper problem at all. Petru Bakor is 69 overall at 21 years old. I feel like he's going to become an absolute monster. And on top of that, everybody's happy, everybody's sharp, everybody looks really good. And truth be told, guys, this team for a League 1 side is exceptional. And we were so close close to a playoff position as well. 1 point outside of the playoffs. I mean, granted, we'd have had to get 2 points to actually be in the top 6 due to goal difference, but guys, we were so close. I'm telling you now, guys, it's only a matter of time before we not only get to the championship, before we're a Premier League side with Hyderabad FC. And we've even made it to round 3 of the FA Cup this time before losing 3-0 to Swansea. We've even this time made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup as well. And this time we've had an excellent showing in the BSM Trophy, round 3 before we lost 1-0 to Exeter. Man, to say I'm proud of the boys in this team is an absolute understatement. 4 years ago we were rock bottom of League 2, now we're almost in a playoff position in League 1. But with so many players improving at a fast rate and consistently doing so, we've now reached the point where we really do have to weed out the weak from the strong. And that means that next year we will be looking for a stronger CDM than Moirang them and a better centre-back than Singh. I don't really want to because these pair have been with us since the beginning, but in order to take Hyderabad FC to that next level, this needs to happen. But here we are, guys, in Season 5, and we've got another 5 mil to spend on Hyderabad FC, and I feel like if we play our cards right, we take Hyderabad FC from League 1 to the Championship. And I've already told you guys what I think needs to be done in order to make this happen. A better CDM and centre-back. Once we sorted those positions out, I feel like nothing stops us from getting promotion. So I got right to work in replacing our centre-back with Luca Jacques, who I spent 2.5 million on. He's in his mid-20s, he's 71 rated, and if you ask me personally, I think he's way too good for League 1, and that just bodes well for us. And just look at that back line now, guys. They do a job in the Championship, never mind League 1. But now we needed a better midfielder, so I spent 2 mil on the dot on Bristol Rovers CDM Camille Conte. Unsure if I've got that pronunciation right, but he's 24, he's got something special, and hopefully we can get the best out of him. And that is our transfer window complete, with the squad looking like this. And I definitely feel like this year we get promotion to the Championship. If we don't, I'll be gobsmacked. Especially now that we signed Luca Jacques and Camille Conte. I mean, we've improved the positions that needed improving the most, and honestly, now that we've done that, we've got to be one of the favourites to go up now. And if we were, we lived up to that moniker, as we are in the playoffs alongside Stockport, Reading and Huddersfield. And guys, we're in the playoff final after just getting past Reading 3-2 in the semis. We're playing Huddersfield. Now, truth be told, I'm not too sure how good that team is. All I know is our team is pretty damn decent. I mean, look at the state of that team, for goodness sake. We're no longer a League 1 team. We're borderline Premier League at this point. But only if we can get past Huddersfield. And that's exactly what we've done. 2-0 on the night. Caputo and Caputo once again with a brace. We have beaten Huddersfield. We win the playoffs and we are promoted to the Championship. I'm so happy for the boys, man. It's taken us 5 years, but we are one step closer now to being in the top flight of English football. We've even made it to round 4 of the FA Cup this time, just losing to West Ham. But we still can't get past round 1 of the Carabao Cup. Go bloody figure. As for our final time in the BSM Trophy, we finished rock bottom of our group. That's a fitting way to say goodbye to the BSM competition, isn't it? But man, look at the stats this time. 27 and 12 for Coffee, 25 and 7 for Caputo, 10 and 5 for Katona, and 10 and 12 for Marvin de Lima. I am beyond happy with this team, man. And you know what? I maintain what I said. This team isn't even Championship level at this point. Majority of the players in this team are Premier League level now. But first, we're going to have to get past the Championship. And looking at all of the mid-table teams in this league, that is not going to be an easy task. But hopefully, with us getting promotion and making it quite far in the FA Cup, we'll get a bit more money than 5 million. And hopefully, if everything goes our way, we can actually get back-to-back promotions. But here we are, guys, in season number 6 with Hyderabad FC, and we're officially in the Championship, and indeed one good year of football away from the top flight of English football. And for a Championship side, we are absolutely minted. 17 million to spend in season 6. However, you've probably guessed that's not all come from the board. Behind the scenes, guys, I have sold all of these players for quite a big amount of money. Now, some of these players, you may not understand why I've sold them so let me quickly explain. Our goalkeeper's development plan basically told me that he'd reached his potential, so I thought I may as well just cash in on him. And it's the exact same story with our attacking midfielder Berlin Katone. And it's the exact same story with Camille Conte, but I don't have to spend money to find his replacement. Because you can remember Raj Kumar Pal, we scouted him in season 1, I've been loaning him out ever since, and look at him now, 20 years old, an exciting prospect, he's got his place in that starting 11. And as you can see from the starting 11, guys, whilst Pal's got his place in it, we've got a lot of work to do to make sure it's ready for the championship, because we basically sold a lot of the quality we had in the starting team. For example, we need a better goalkeeper now, a better centre-back, and certainly a better central attacking midfielder. But not only do we have a lot of money to spend because we sold all the players in the starting team, we've got a lot more opportunities to bring more quality into the team purely because we're now in the championship. And I've taken full advantage of this as I spent 4.5 million on French attacking midfielder Aaron Malouda. He's only 22 and he's 74 rated already, and he's absolutely rapid as well. I've only just noticed that. This guy's going to tear it up in the championship. I've also just spent 5.9 million on Everton centre-back João Muniz. Now this guy is a damn good player, only 23, 75 rated already. To be fair, guys, you could argue he's too good for the championship. And now that we've got our centre-back role sorted and our cam role sorted, we just need a better goalie, and that's our transfer window done. And I might have just found a hidden gem, guys. Alfonso Montero from Casapia AC, only 23 and 73 rated. I know he's not the best keeper in the world, but something tells me he's got a lot of potential, and to be honest, guys, I'm willing to take a gamble on him. And just like that, for 3 mil on the dot, Alfonso Montero now plays for us, and that's our transfer window done. And now that we've got a proper keeper in between the sticks, I've got such a good feeling about our year in the championship, man. I genuinely feel like back-to-back promotions is on the cards. I mean, granted, we went through the league table last year, but when you properly look at who's in the championship, not many teams in this league are going to pose that much of a threat to us. I'm just hoping that Aaron Malouda, João Muniz and Alfonso Montero come in clutch this year, because I've put a lot of faith in these guys and I'm hoping that they deliver. And right now, guys, they may have just delivered as we've just made the playoffs alongside Fulham, Plymouth and Coventry. And the hopes of promotion are still alive after beating Fulham 4-2 in the playoff semi-finals. We're playing Plymouth Argyle in the final. Now again, I'm not too sure how good this team is. I know that Morgan Whittaker and Mumba are absolutely tremendous alongside Cooper, but 3 players don't make a good team. However, you look at our team and let's be real, that right there is a Premier League team waiting to be a Premier League team. We just have to beat Plymouth Argyle to become... And we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. 3-1 on the night. Oh my god, we've done it. Back-to-back promotions via the playoffs both times as well. We've actually done it. I am beyond buzzing, man. It has taken us 6 long years to take Hyderabad FC from literally rock bottom of League 2 to the top flight of English football. Get in. We've also had a decent FA Cup run this time, making it to round 3. But we dropped a stinker in the Carabao Cup as we got knocked out before the competition even begun. But truth be told, guys, considering what we've accomplished this year, these stats aren't really that impressive. I mean, Coffee once again being an absolute baller, 28 and 15 in 50 games. I have to admit that does bring me to a very big decision, because his market value is 153.5 million, and with him being 90 overall, you better believe he's going to get some offers next year. And I've already said this team is good to go for the Premier League, but I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't planning on improving it next year. That 150 odd million could go a long way in doing that. I feel like if I get a transfer offer big enough, I've simply got to take it, man, because I'd be an absolute fool not to, especially now that next year we're going to be competing in the Prem. Well, ladies and gents, we start season 7 with an absolutely massive transfer offer for Coffee, 217 million from Bayer Leverkusen. And truth be told, guys, we've only been given 39 million for our first year in the Premier League anyway, so honestly, I feel like I've got to accept it. I mean, 217 million, that's a lot of money to turn down, and I'm only human after all. Imagine what that money could do to the entire team. But we've just had an even bigger bloody transfer offer from PSG, 242.7 million. Oh my god, well, if I'm accepting 217, I'm definitely accepting that. And he is officially leaving Hyderabad FC. The big question is, who's he going to? Is he going to go to Bayer Leverkusen or is he going to go to PSG? He's gone to Bayer Leverkusen. Of of course he'd go to the bloody team that offered him less money. But this now means we've got 230 million to spend in our first year in the Prem, and let's be completely honest guys, if we spend this right, we're looking at European football next season. Now obviously the first thing we've got to do is find a replacement for Coffee, because this geezer definitely isn't it. And despite us having enough money to sort out majority of this team, there are a couple of positions I do want to leave alone. For example, I don't want Marvin De Lima to go anywhere for now, because it'll only take him 10 weeks to become a better player, and quite honestly, he's still growing at quite a quick rate. There's also Max Caputo as well. Since we signed him 3 years ago, he's grown by 10 ratings. I want to keep this guy and see if we can keep him for the long haul. And I think it goes without saying, Raj Kumar Pal isn't going anywhere at all. And there are a couple of other positions I would like to leave alone. However, our back four and our goalkeeping position is definitely getting improved. But first things first, we need a proper, good and reliable goalkeeper, which is why I forked out 25.8 million on Brazilian keeper Andrew. He's definitely older than our current goalkeeper, but he's 10 ratings higher than him. This one was a no-brainer. But now it was time to focus on our defense, so I spent 40 million big ones on Radu Dragusin. This guy had a pretty impressive Euros with Romania, stands at 6'3", and to be honest guys, he looks like an absolute beast. As for his centre-back partner, I've just spent 40 million on the dot on Loic Bardet. He's 2 years older than Dragusin, but just as good as him. Ladies and gents, we've got our centre-back partnership. But this now means we need better fullbacks than Bennett and Adelgard. Thankfully though, we haven't even really scratched the surface of our budget, as we've still got over 110 million to spend. So I'm going to bring in RB Leipzig fullback Fedi Kadioglu, 29, 83 overall, was a very good player in the Euro, so honestly I want him in our team. And joining him is Ashraf Hakimi from PSG, 30 years old granted, but he's 86 overall, and something tells me signing him may just get us into Europe next season. And that officially wraps up this transfer window. Was for the combined total of 96 million. We signed both of these players on 3-year deals. And I'm not being funny guys, but look at the state of this starting 11. I think we've definitely got a shot again European football next year now. Oh my god, I'm an absolute idiot. I've spent so much time focusing on the defense and goalie, I haven't even bought a replacement winger for freaking Coffee. We've literally only got 5 million left. Oh my god, I am the biggest moron on the planet. Guys, I'm heading to the free agents list. I am praying to God that there is somebody here that I can bring into this team, otherwise I am screwed. Oh my god, I am lucky. I am one lucky SOB. Francisco Trincao is somehow a goddamn free agent. He's 84 overall at 29 years old. What he's doing as a free agent, I don't know, but one thing is for certain, I am signing this guy up. And there he is in the Hyderabad FC kit. We've just got to convert into a left winger, and that is job done. Thank God for that. It's safe to say I'm definitely expecting European football next year now, man. Look at the signings that we've made this year. If we don't get it this season, I don't know what more we could have done to get it. Okay, I'm officially gobsmacked. We are only 8th in the Premier League in our first season in it. Now, granted, as a newly promoted side, that's pretty impressive, but given the fact we spent over 200 million, that is absolutely abysmal. I mean, you could say I'm being harsh because we were only 5 points outside the top 4, but still, man, that sucks. We didn't even have a good FA Cup run. Plymouth knocked us out in round 3. But at the very least, Brentford beat the Bottle Jobs in the Carabao Cup, so there is that. But I'm seriously struggling to understand how we haven't made it into the top 6 at the very least, man. Everybody's happy. That's what I can't understand. But now I'm beginning to understand it, because nobody bloody scored, man. Max Caputo was our top goal contributor with only 18 goals in 39 games. I don't know where to go, man. We spent over 200 million on the team. Maybe a change in formation. Maybe we changed the tactics a little bit. One way or another, we've got to figure out what went wrong and solve that issue. But here we are, guys. It's a brand new season with Hyderabad FC, but unfortunately, the board have absolutely shafted us. Only 44 million to spend this year. And given the fact that this team somehow didn't make the top 6 last year, I don't think 40 odd million is going to be enough to actually get us there either. So I'm going to take matters into my own hands by selling Max Caputo this year. He's worth 16.5 million, so maybe we'll get upwards to 20 to 23 million for him. I know that last year he was our top goal scorer, but let's be real, guys. If we are to get top 6 football, we definitely need somebody who's scoring more than what Max Caputo has for us. This one, however, stings a little bit. I am selling Aaron Malouda. I mean, this guy is still still pretty young, granted, but his development plan, well, let me just show you. It'll take him 49 weeks to become a better player, man, and right now we can't afford anybody not pulling their weight in the team. And unfortunately, the same thing applies to Christian Mihai. I mean, as you can see, it'll take him 42 weeks to become a better CDM, and right now, guys, he's one of the weakest links in the entire team. Granted, he's not worth all that much, 11.5 million in total, but once we sell him, Malouda and Caputo, I reckon we'll have upwards to 90 odd million if we're lucky. And there we go, guys, Max Caputo has officially been sold. That's 1 down, 2 to go. And that didn't take long either. Aaron Malouda's gone now, so that's 2 down, 1 to go. And finally, it is done, guys. We're saying goodbye to Christian Mihai, which means all 3 players I wanted to sell this year have indeed been sold. And we got really good deals for these players, man. Mihai's gone to Bournemouth for 15.8, 26.75 million for Malouda to Arsenal, and Max Caputo, who's gone to Benfica for 24.9 mil too. And on top of tournament money, guys, we've now got 112 million to spend in season it. Now, we can definitely do some damage with this kind of money. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what we need to do. We need a better CDM, cam, and also striker. So starting with the striker, I've just spent 34.5 million on Mark Guehi. He's 24 now, 81 overall. In real life, I believe he's just transferred to Chelsea, but right now he plays for us. And following in for 23.2 million is Swiss attacking midfielder Fabian Rieder. He's almost 30 years old now, but look at how quick this guy is. When we're hitting teams on the break, this guy is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with. But this only leaves us with 48 million to spend on a CDM. Luckily, I may have found the player that's going to get us into that top 6 this year. And that is Bayern Munich CDM Pepelu. He's 31 years old now, but he's 85 overall, and his stats are so well-rounded. This guy is absolutely what we're missing in our starting 11. But not no more, as we conclude our business in Season 8 as we spend 41 million on Pepelu. And guys, what a goddamn transformation, man. Look at the state of this team. If we somehow miss out on European football in any way, shape or form this year, there's something seriously amiss. We've now brought in a very experienced CDM in Pepelu. We've got a very quick attacking midfielder in Fabian Rieder, and we've got a very good striker in Mark Guehi now. There's no reason why we can't do it. And this is looking promising. Our striker, Mark Guehi, got 26 goal contributions in 41 games. For his debut season in the Prem, that's pretty damn good. I mean, De Lima, Hakimi, Reeders, and Trincao stats are something to be desired, but at least we've got a striker up top now who knows exactly where the back of that net is. And on paper, guys, this team is legitimately something else. I am praying to God we've at least got top 6 football, man. This team deserves to play European football next year. Hallelujah, we finally done it. We were 3 points off actually winning the Premier League title. Liverpool won it with 70 points. Jesus, that's a low point threshold to win the title. But that's not the crazy thing. Look who finished second, Burnley. What in God's carnation are you lot doing there? But whilst we did well in the Prem, we had a stinker in the FA Cup, losing 2-1 to Leicester in round 4. And we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup as well, which is very disappointing in fairness. But looking at the bigger picture, this season has been amazing. We've got Champions League football with Hyderabad FC when 8 years ago they were rock bottom of League 2. In truth be told, guys, I don't really know where to focus our attention on next year in this starting 11. Maybe we don't, and maybe we focus on the bench. I mean, defensively, we are decent when it comes to depth. However, midfield, wingers, and attackers-wise, we're absolutely diabolical. But at the very least, the good news going into next year, because we've now got European football, surely to God, our budget has got to skyrocket, meaning that sorting that problem out won't be a problem at all. But before we find out how much money we're working with this year, I'm doing something that I should have done last season. Instead of using the 4-2-3-1 wide variation, I'm going to use the 4-2-3-1 narrow. This is because our front 4 are all further up the pitch, and therefore I think this may give us a better chance of banging more goals in this season. I mean, last season Mark Guehi did all the work up top by himself pretty much, so hopefully with this new formation change, De Lima, Reed and Trincao can help him out a bit. But moving on to the good news, we've got £102 million to spend on improving this team and getting them ready for the UCL this year. But like I said last year, we don't really need to focus our attention on the starting 11. The bench, however, needs a massive improvement, man. Defensively, like I said last season, we're good. Everywhere else, we're pants. But we still got to be quite strategic on how we spend this, because whilst we've got over 100 million, that can only take us so far. But thankfully, without spending a penny, I found our backup striker, Mika Bieref, 28, 77 overall. If you know me, guys, you know how much I love this guy, so this is literally a dream transfer for me. I've also just spent £9.5 million on centre defensive midfielder Sammy Braybrook. Now 27 years old, 78 overall. He's not an amazing player by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely decent for depth in that midfield. And the bench right now does look pretty decent. We just need a winger to go into it, and I feel like for now at least we're good to go. But instead of buying for the bench, I decided to buy for the starting 11, so I spent £64.6 million on Fatawu. I mean, this guy's a beast. 27, 85 overall, levels above De Lima, man. He can go into the starting 11 and De Lima can take his spot on the bench. And just look at that starting 11 now, man. Honestly, I reckon we do have a half decent chance of winning the Champions League in our first attempt this year. But I can't help but notice there is one position missing on that bench. We haven't got an attacking midfielder anywhere here. And we do still have 20 million to spend, and right now, guys, I don't feel like we're in a position to throw this money down the drain. Fortunately, guys, we don't have to, as I've found German Alvarado from FC Cologne. He's in his mid-20s. He's a decent-looking player, and thankfully, he's well within our budget. And just like that, for 14 million, we wrap up our transfer window this year, but when one bit of business ends, another begins. As after 9 years of trying, we have finally reached the promised land. We are in Group C in the Champions League alongside Atletico Madrid, Genk, and Shakhtar Donetsk. And not only that, we've had a great start to the new campaign. 3 games played, 3 wins, 3rd place, undefeated. Something tells me we're about to have our most successful year yet with Hyderabad FC. I mean, the starting team is amazing, and so is the bench now too. I mean, we've seen that they're off to a good start in the Premier League, but can these guys keep it going till the very end of the campaign? Unfortunately, the answer to that question is no. We were 7 points away from winning the Premier League this time. Look at the difference in points between ourselves and 3rd place Manchester United, man. That just absolutely blows. The worst thing is as well, if we got this amount of points last year, we'd have won the league by bloody 12 points. What can you do, man? I mean, Manchester City literally only lost 1 game from 38 all year, man. What can you do against that? At the very least, though, they didn't win the FA Cup. Brighton did, and I'm bloody happy about that. But we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. Great stuff. Moving swiftly on. Thankfully, we've done better in the Champions League as we've topped Group C pretty comfortably in the end. And we're through to the quarters after pretty easily getting past Dynamo Kiev. You've got to be kidding me. We get knocked out by Celtic 5-4 on aggregate. I am low-key losing the will to live here, I'll be real. How do we build the team we've got and lose to Celtic of all teams, man? I could understand Leipzig, PSG, or bloody AC Milan, but Celtic at this point, come on. And that isn't even me being disrespectful. Look at the state of our team right now. You're telling me with a straight face that this team doesn't beat Celtic. You're having a laugh right now. And it looks like the change of formation did indeed work, as Mark Guéhi, Trincao, De Lima, Pepelu, Reader got more goals than last year. Hang on a second though, why is Fatawu getting less goal contributions than bloody De Lima? We spent over 50 million on this guy and he's done worse than the guy we got for free. I honestly don't know what more we could have done this year, man. We've improved our squad depth, we increased the quality in our starting 11, and we still lost to Celtic of all teams, man. Where do we go from here? Is the gegenpress tactical vision the problem with the 4-2-3-1 narrow? Do we change it to a wing play tiki-taka? What the hell do we do? All I know, guys, is this. Next year, we've simply got to do better in the Champions League. The Premier League, I'll definitely let slide because Man City, we're on smoke, but the Champions League, there's no excuse for what happened this year. So, guys, I have indeed taken action. I've sold Francisco Trincao for 73 million and Pepelu for 32.5 million. Trincao was a great addition to the team considering he came on a free, but right now he's dwindling in overall, and considering we got over 70 mil for him, I consider that a massive dub. As for Pepelu, it's the same story. He's now 33 years old. That rating is going to go down in overall, so I thought I'd cash in on him whilst I still could. And this means we've got a staggering 226 million to spend in our 10th year in charge of Hyderabad FC. And I think if we replace Pepelu and Trincao with world-class talent, we can legitimately win everything this year. We've at least got the money to do it anyway. And I'm putting that money to good use, as our first signing is Spanish youngster Stevan Bajcetic, who I spent 39.4 million on. He's the same quality as Pepelu, just 6 years younger, and I feel like in our team, there's definitely a chance he can grow as a player as well. And we've still got 183 million left to spend, and you might be wondering why I cheaped out on Bajcetic when we've got all this money. Well, that's because I'm saving all this money for that left winger I'm replacing Trincao with. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I have just brought back Youth Academy prospect Cheek Coffee for 166.6 million. He's still in his mid-20s, 93 years old, one of the best players in the world at this point, and if we are to win the Champions League, this guy is going to help us do it. Especially when we're in Group E of the Champions League alongside Real Sociedad, Benfica, and RB Salzburg. Truth be told, guys, I feel like this might be the year we do it, man. This might be the year we make Hyderabad FC the world's best club. But it's officially not the year we make them the best team in England, because Arsenal have beaten us to that freaking Premier League title by 4 points. I am so sick and tired of finishing second at this point, man. We are the new bottle jobs. Speaking of the bottle jobs, where are the... Oh my god, they're ninth. Yeah, we're levels above them at the very least. But they've won the FA Cup, so we are moving swiftly on. And we're moving swiftly on to disappointment as we get knocked out of the Carabao Cup in round 3. I'll be real with you lot. So far, this isn't looking good. But it does get better as we are second in Group E in the Champions League and we are once again through to the knockouts. And that is where we quite frankly obliterate Barcelona 6-1 on aggregate. Oh my lord, that's an annihilation. But we only just get past Atalanta in the quarters. We could be playing Bayern, Inter or Leipzig. Oh my god, I don't care who we get. Please do not lose in the semi-finals, Hyderabad. We're in the finals, guys. We're playing Bayern in the final. Oh my god, thank you so much. We've beaten Inter Milan 2-0. I don't care about the fact we're playing Bayern. I'm going to be on top of my game. I'm going to obliterate them. I mean, yes, that team right there is absolutely amazing. Schlotterbeck, Mamardashvili, Trent Alexander-Arnold, the best right back in the world at this point apart from Hakimi, but I do not care. We've got an amazing team as well. I mean, the stats realistically speak for themselves, guys. Coffee, Gui, Fotawu, Hakimi, Reed, Alvarado as well, all banging goals in for fun. And this is the team that got us to the UCL final. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one step closer to making the worst team in world football today the world's best. But you know what? Even if we don't win the Champions League final now, we still got Raj Kumar Pal, our Youth Academy prospect, all the way from CS1 to the UCL final. That in its own right is an amazing achievement. But don't get that twisted with me accepting defeat, because I haven't come all this way with Hyderabad FC to choke when it matters the most. We are going into this Champions League final and I'm going to do my best to win it. Bacic is on the ball. We're going to find Hakimi at 33 years old. He's still one of the best right backs in the world. What a ball, and that is nobody's there. Fatawu is coming forward now. Bayern Munich are really doing well. Hang on, we've got a bit of space here. Oh, bloody hell. That's what I mean, man. Every time I get a bit of space, they just block me short. Here come Bayern Munich, though. That is one of the worst attempts on goal that I've ever seen. Oh my lord. But it's our turn now to attack. Can we spot that run from Coffee? Yes, we can. The 166 million man. Can he strike first? Oh, what a save, Mamardashvili. We're getting a bit between the teeth now. Pal is on the ball. Great tackle. Julian Alvarez is coming forward. Luke Bardet is in chase. Can we get a tackle in? Oh, I misread that completely. Great defending. Still not away though. They're coming forward. Alvarez is on the ball. Great save, Andrew. Oh my days. Fabian Reeder on the ball now though. We know how quick he is. Mark Guai is being spotted. He's in behind the defence. Schlotterbeck is in chase. Can we cut inside? Yes, we can. We're going to do it once more. Fabian Reeder with a bit of open room. Finally, on the stroke of half-time, we're 1-0 up against Bayern Munich. We are one step closer to making Hyderabad FC the best team in the world. Oh, that came at the right time as well, just before the half-time whistle. Fabian Reeder in a bit of open space, and he takes full advantage of it. We're now into the second half. Very evenly contested so far, but we do have Pal. I've just realised how tall he is. Oh my lord, but Fabian Reeder's through once again. Can we make it two? What a save, Mamardashvili, saving Bayern Munich's backside again. We do have a good chance here though. Fatawu on the corner. That's a great delivery, and anybody's head on that. What a save again. I know I keep saying what a save, man, but he's legitimately made save after save, and they're all being bloody good. But here's Bacic with another shot, and once again, another great save. We've got to put one of these chances away. Let's have a little dink from distance. Oh my god, Fatawu, what an effort. Bayern Munich coming down the left-hand side pretty quickly now. Hakimi's there. Kratzig inside. Bayern Munich are playing really nice football. I can't keep up with the Musiala. Oh no! What a save, Andrew. That is legitimately just saved our bacon. But Mark Gui has got the ball now. We've got a great opportunity to kill the game dead here. Mark Gui is all on his own. Can we take it round the keeper? I think we're going to. Can we get a shot off? We missed it. What am I playing at? That was the chance right there to kill the game dead, man. What are we playing at? Oh my god, it doesn't matter. That's the full-time whistle. Our mission is finally complete. We have made Hyderabad FC go from the world's worst team to the world's best. And that is officially the longest rebuild I have ever done. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but that took us literally a decade to do. I am officially going to lie down, man. That took me 2 full days to record, man. I am so happy we've finally done it. But ladies and gents, that is officially my job done with Hyderabad FC. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave this video a like and smash that subscribe button if you're new around here. And if you thought this was challenging, just wait till next Friday, because that one could be just as challenging, if not more challenging. But until then, guys, to keep yourselves occupied, just click this video right here, because this is a banger as well.